The US President Donald Trump is rapidly running out of time and legal options to advance his argument that the election was rigged after suffering another defeat in the courts. Greg Jeanette has more from Washington.
Donald Trump can't really take a trick in the courts right now. The dismissal of his claims seem to be coming almost daily, and this latest case was before a federal appeals court, and it summarily dismissed the appeal, which was based on an earlier ruling in a Pennsylvania court that there had been multiple forms of irregularity, particularly in the vote counting processes, and a lot of those claims centred on the access that vote monitors, or what we would call in Australia scrutineers, had, and whether Republicans weren't favoured and Democrats were favoured. But the long story cut short here is that Donald Trump just can't get to advance any argument, because in this latest federal appeal, as in other court hearings before it, the judges have gone to some lengths to say there is no merit here. You haven't laid out any specificity to back your claims of voting irregularity, or, to use Donald Trump's word, fraud. So it's back to square one. The only remaining step really now is to try to kick it up to the Supreme Court of the United States. The key word there is to try. It's not a given that the Supreme Court would grant its attention to be given to these claims, but there have been some indications via Twitter from some of Donald Trump's legal team members that they do intend, they say, to take this to the Supreme Court next. So no luck so far, but yet they persist. There are important preconditions that Donald Trump put on that statement, which actually wasn't really a statement. It was more a response to a journalist's question. Interesting, because he hadn't taken any for 3 weeks since Election Day on the 3rd of November here. So the question was, if Joe Biden is granted the win by the Presidential Electoral College, would you leave the White House? And the answer was certainly, you know I will. But it's the precondition there. It's the Electoral College. Will it, and when might it, award the victory to Joe Biden? Well, pretty much all of that is going to be stacked up and voted on the 14th of December. So this leaves under 3 weeks for Donald Trump to try to somehow thwart or halt even the Electoral Commission process. Very, very difficult when you consider that he's had no luck so far. So it was a highly qualified statement. It appeared, yes, on face value, to say there is a point at which I would be prepared to go, and to go quietly, but, and then there are a whole lot of buts that he threw in there. The election's fraudulent. There's no way that Joe Biden got the 80 million votes that the tally says that he did in the popular vote. And it's almost as if, having said the earlier indication of a concession that there would be an acceptance that he'd have to leave the White House, it's almost as if Donald Trump had second thoughts on this, because he subsequently took to Twitter and wrote that Biden can only enter the White House as president if he can prove that his ridiculous 80 million votes were not fraudulently or illegally obtained. So it's almost like he's feeding back off that journalist's question and the answer that he gave to try and revisit the argument and say, well, I might leave, but then I wouldn't unless we can get all this sorted in the courts. So a tough road to hoe for Donald Trump on almost any level.